Hello! So you've just started Endwalker. You enter Charlian, and you see people running around shooting laser beams all over the place. And you think to yourself, I want to do that. So you became a Sage. Sage is a really cool healer that uses new lifts. Sage also starts at level 70 and is a barrier healer. They have a ton of abilities that specialize in mitigation while still being able to provide good healing. It didn't really change too much in Dawntrail, so let's take a look. Let's start with Sage's most important ability, Kardia. Using Kardia on another party member will allow you to heal them passively while using your DPS spells. Kardia should be put on a tank in the beginning of a dungeon, or on the main tank in trials or raids, as they're going to be taking the brunt of the damage from any fight. You can also buff Kardia by using Soteria. This will buff the healing received from Kardia by 70% for 4 DPS spells. You should use this whenever your tank is going to be taking a lot of damage. Now let's move on to your healing spells. Diagnosis is your single target healing spell. Prognosis is your AoE healing spell. You'll be using both of these spells primarily in low level content or as a last resort, since you have other abilities that heal a lot more. In order to use your barrier spells, you need to press Eucrasia. This will augment 2 of your healing spells into Eucrasian versions. Diagnosis will augment into Eucrasian Diagnosis, which gives a shield to your target. If Eucrasian Diagnosis crit heals, it'll apply a second shield on top. This is really good to use on tanks in dungeons when they're tanking a mob pool, or before a tank buster in an encounter. Prognosis will change to Eucrasian Prognosis, which applies a shield to yourself and all nearby party members. There is no second shield if Eucrasian Prognosis crits. Eucrasian Prognosis is mainly used to shield the party from any raid-wide attacks or damaging mechanics. Do note, either of your shields cannot stack with each other or itself if you heal lower than the previous shield. If you heal higher, then the shield gets overwritten. It also cannot stack with Scholar shields either. At level 90, you'll learn Pneuma. This is a line AoE attack that does really good AoE healing as well. It's actually one of the best healing spells that Sage has. You should never use Pneuma for damage and use it primarily for the AoE heal. It's so strong that it's commonly paired with Zoe, which buffs the healing potency of your next healing spell by 50%. Pneuma is super good for when the party gets low after a massive raid-wide attack or damaging mechanic. Pairing Zoe with it, you should use it when the party gets really low. As for Zoe itself, it's actually really good for making your Eucrasian shields a lot stronger as well, so use it before casting Pneuma or using either Eucrasian spells. Moving on to your DPS spells, Dosis is your main DPS spell that you should be using almost all the time unless you're doing a healing spell. Dyscrasia is your AoE DPS spell that you need to be in melee range for. Eucrasia will augment both of these abilities into your damage over time spells. Dosis will augment into Eucrasian Dosis, which puts a 30-second dot on your target. You should try to keep this dot up on your target as much as possible and only refresh it when it gets to around 3 to 4 seconds. At level 82, Dyscrasia can augment into Eucrasian Dyscrasia, which applies a dot to all nearby enemies within melee range. This dot should be applied to a mob pool in a dungeon or any AoE situation. Phlegma is a strong AoE DPS spell that is an instant cast, and you must be in melee range for. You also have 2 charges of the spell. At level 92, you'll learn Psych, which is a really strong AoE attack that you should press off cooldown. Whenever your Eucrasian Diagnosis shields break, or the shield on yourself breaks from Eucrasian Prognosis, you'll gain an Addersting. You can hold up to 3 Addersting and can spend them on Toxicon, which is an AoE DPS spell that is an instant cast. Toxicon is damage neutral with Dosis, so it's mainly used for movement or as a way to weave in some of your abilities. Every 20 seconds, you'll gain an Addersgall, which can be spent on a few abilities. Each time you use one of these abilities, you'll gain 700 MP as well. Druacol is a strong single target heal that is much stronger than Diagnosis. Ixicol is an AoE heal that is much stronger than Prognosis. Druacol should be your main way of dishing out single target heals. Ixicol is a great ability to use, but you have a lot of other abilities that handle AoE healing as well. Caracol will reduce damage taken by 10% for yourself and nearby party members for 15 seconds. At level 78, Caracol will also apply a regen as well. Caracol is your quick mitigation button, so it should be used whenever there's a raid-wide attack coming up or a damaging mechanic. Taracol is a strong single target heal that also reduces damage taken by 10% 10% for 15 seconds on whoever you gave Taracol to. However, this mitigation does not stack with Caracol. Taracol is still a really good ability to use on tanks whenever they're getting low, or to another party member that needs to be healed fast. The mitigation is more of an added bonus, but you can use it for tanks for that reason if you really need to. At level 74, you'll learn Rizamata, which will give you 1 Addersgall. With your Addersgall, you want to try and never let the 20-second timer stop. If you're getting close to being capped on Addersgall, use one of the abilities to prevent it. This is mainly so you can keep your MP up, but if you need to hold the Addersgall for a big attack or mechanic, then feel free to do so. Before we go on, if you're enjoying the video, I highly suggest you subscribe and leave a like as well, as it really helps me out. If you want to support me even more, please consider becoming a member. My lowest tier is only $1 a month, and I'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much for your support. Moving on, Haima will apply a shield to a targeted party member and give them 5 stacks of Haima and Panhaima for 15 seconds. Whenever the shield breaks, it'll take a stack and reapply itself. When the 15-second duration ends, it'll apply a heal. The more stacks that are remaining, the stronger this heal is. Haima is really good for mitigating multi-hit attacks on tanks, or to help them tank auto attacks as well. At level 80, you'll learn Panhaima, the AoE version of Haima. This will apply a shield to yourself and nearby party members, and gives them 5 stacks of Panhaima and on for 15 seconds. Like Haima, if the shield breaks, it'll take a stack and reapply itself, and when the 15-second duration ends, it'll apply a heal that's stronger the more stacks that were remaining. Panhai is really good for multi-hit raid-wide attacks. Physis will give yourself and nearby party members a regen that lasts for 15 seconds. It'll also increase HP recovery from healing actions by 10% as well. Physis is really good for healing the party if they need a little bit of healing. You can also use it to help boost your bigger heals as well. Pepsis will convert any of your Crazian shields you have applied into a pure heal. This ability can be useful for helping restore the party's HP in a pinch, but it's not really used that much otherwise. At level 86, you'll learn Crasis, which can be applied to a targeted party member and will increase their HP recovery from healing actions by 20%. Crasis is really good if you need to heal up a tank or someone else fast. It can also be paired with Zoe Eucrasian Diagnosis to make a really big shield. At level 76, you'll learn Holos, which will do an AoE heal, apply shields, and reduce damage taken by 10% for 20 seconds to yourself and nearby party members. Holos is a really good mitigation ability. It should be used for raid-wide attacks or damaging mechanics. At level 100, you'll learn Philosophia. This will increase your healing magic potency by 20% for 20 seconds, and apply a buff called Eudaimonia to yourself and nearby party members. Whenever you use any healing or DPS spell, it'll trigger Eudaimonia to heal. This is very good for healing in a pinch, or to keep up the party's HP during a long and damaging mechanic. Icarus is your gap closer that you can use to go to an enemy or targeted party member. This is really good if you want to agree to cast, then quickly get out of an AoE, or to jump in for phlegmas. Sages also have a resurrection spell called Higuero that has a long cast time, so use swift cast for it if you have it up. If you need to long cast it though, make sure you're safe before casting. Overall though, I think Sage is my new favorite healer. I played this job last raid tier and learned a ton about it. Its kit is so versatile, and I hope it doesn't get butchered in 8.0. But yeah, that basically sums up Sage, so bye!